Hey everyone, it's Elizabeth. On today's episode of 5 Questions with EP, I'm sitting down with Jack Moran to discuss his representation of a family whose child was hurt by a defective product. Ready, Jack?
Ready.
Okay, question 1. Representing the family of a child involves a level of emotional labor that most people don't see. How does our firm culture support you in carrying that weight while maintaining the aggression needed to win?
So I think it's multifaceted, but if you boil it down, it is our firm's attention to detail. And I think that every single case, regardless of what the claim is that's being made, it has always been within the firm culture and our tenets that every client gets the best representation possible. You see sometimes in personal injury attorneys that are loaded with 150 files, and knowing as a personal injury lawyer myself, that is, although technically it's possible to do that, it's not feasible and it's not right for the clients. And you're not going to have that same connection that you need to have with clients to be able to really portray their case well. And so when we talk about supporting our lawyers emotionally and our litigators when they're handling really tough cases, like one where a family has lost their child, which is truthfully one of the most difficult things you could ever deal with, ensuring that I have a caseload that's appropriate, that I can be the person for that family. I can pick up the phone when they call. I can be there to answer any questions that they have. I can constantly provide them updates. I think that is just so incredibly important because it allows all of us to work better and find a better resolution in that case. So I think it's just, again, the attention to detail in every single case and ensuring our litigators, the people handling the files, have the capacity to do all those things, to do it right.
I agree. Not being bogged down with tons of cases really gives you the time to check in on your clients, give them updates, provide feedback, just maintain that connection. And that's something that our firm really values.
I couldn't agree more.
Question 2. A common complaint with high-volume firms is that clients never actually speak to their lawyer. They're passed off to a case manager. In a sensitive multi-billion-dollar case like this one, why is it vital for the client to have a direct line to the lead trial attorney from day one?
So it's funny you asked that. Right before we stepped in here to do these questions, I was on the call with a new client, and she was talking with me. Right? And I think that's important for all of our lawyers. I want them talking with the client right off the bat. And she hadn't even signed an agreement of representation yet. But that's important to us as a firm and in our culture, that these people know right from the get-go that they're going to be able to talk to their actual lawyer. And it goes back to the first question you asked me, right? Ensuring that our lawyers aren't overloaded with cases. We want them to be able to be that resource for the clients, be able to talk to them when the clients need them. Because personal injury is a field where there's lots of questions and lots of issues, and it's upending people's lives. They're going to want to be able to talk to their lawyer about what's going on. So again, going back to your question, we feel it's very important that although clients are also going to have access to the team members, like the paralegals, the legal assistants, client concierge, they have the ability, right, to talk with their lawyer anytime they want to, because it's just going to make for a stronger claim and a stronger bond between the lawyer and the clients.
I agree. And that first phone call is so important. I don't think people realize that, in sometimes larger firms, you don't talk to your attorney until after you've signed an agreement. And then only then do they find out that there's no chemistry there, or they feel like, they can't communicate well. And so really you're interviewing your attorney before you hire them. And here, getting to speak to you right up front makes a huge difference.
I joke, it's personal injury. It's going to be personal. I'm going to ask you a lot of hard personal questions. And if you don't like me and you don't trust me, that's not going to be a good relationship. And I tell every client, you got to like us and trust us and understand that we're the right lawyers for you.
I agree. Number 3, taking on a massive corporation requires significant financial resources to hire the best experts and engineers. For someone who's watching who is hesitant to call a lawyer because they're afraid of the cost, how does our firm's ability to front those, war expenses from the beginning level the playing field?
Being willing and able to bring a case all the way is, I believe, an absolute necessity in personal injury. And really, it probably rings true for every practice area. Being the lawyer who's willing to take it all the way to verdict if you need to is important in getting the best possible outcome. And that requires time and it requires money. One thing that I also believe is built into our core principles here at Woolsey Morcom is we are not going to take a case and try to simply get a quick settlement, right, and in and out. It's never the way we've operated. It's never the way we will operate. We take every case and ensure that no stone is left unturned, and we look for every single possible avenue of recovery for the client. Because truthfully, in personal injury specifically, these clients' lives are upended. Mm-hmm. They are dealing with horrible, horrible things that were not their fault. Right. And the only thing they're ever going to be able to get is a financial recovery. And that doesn't make them whole.
No.
But you want to ensure that the time is spent and you have the money able, right, to bring that case all the way so that client gets the best possible result. So some people refer to it as like the war chest, yeah. Right? Having the war chest where you're able to hire the experts, you're able to work the case up appropriately. That's one wonderful thing is that's what we have here. And our philosophy for all of our litigators is if they believe it is important for their specific case, no matter the value of it, to do something or hire some expert or spend some money on cost to better their case, we say go for it. At no point in this firm's history ever have we told a litigator, no, you can't spend that money, it's just too much. If they truly believe it's going to better their client's case, that money can be spent.
I agree that investment in the trial ready mentality makes a huge difference for the clients. Question 4. Several other firms originally turned this family away. Without naming names, what did those other firms miss, or what were they afraid of that you saw immediately?
This was a very hard case for a lot of reasons. It was a little boy who lost his life because of a product that was put out into the stream of commerce that was defective. But on the face of the case, it's not easy to know right away that this is a case that's viable. And when you looked at a case like this on its face, it is going to be replete with large issues, very large hurdles, very large corporations that are going to hire the best counsel, in the nation to represent them, and it's going to be an all-out war. But at the end of the day, if you can find some success for this family in at least making a recovery for them, they'll never get back everything they lost, far from it. But maybe if you can at least help them in some way in making a recovery and also ensuring that maybe this product has changed so that in the future this can't happen again, it was worthwhile. And I think our firm looked at the case and understood that this was going to be far from an easy slam dunk, and there could be at the end no result whatsoever. Right. It was worthwhile for us to do that on behalf of this family because they came and asked us for help. And they had informed us that, listen, we know you might not be able to take this case because everyone else has turned us away, but we felt that it was important to at least try. And thankfully, after years of fighting, we did find success in it.
It's amazing. Last question, you ready?
Ready.
When a case is rejected by other personal injury firms, it's usually because they don't see an easy path to a settlement. In this specific litigation involving the defective product, what was the hidden legal theory or piece of evidence that our team uncovered to turn a no into a multi-million-dollar yes?
So that question encompasses a few of my answers, and I think it goes back to the attention to detail, the war chest, the time and the money.
It's like a puzzle piece all fit together.
You gotta have it all.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta have it all to find the success, find the successful outcome. And we had those pieces. We were willing to spend money. We spent 6 figures of money on experts alone.
Right.
Right? That's a lot of money that is a risk because the case could have turned out to not be viable potentially. That money would be lost. But again, looking back at our core tenets of if we truly want to help people, we have to be willing to dive into those difficult, hard cases. And that again, it goes back to this case specifically was not an easy one on its face. It was not one of those cases that you see and you scream out, no problem, I'm going to be able to make a recovery on that one. there was going to be large hurdles, and there were. But you got to have the time, the attention to detail to keep pushing and get it to that end result that it's hopefully successful for the client. And we have that. And obviously, the case itself, again, it's always so much more rewarding when you know you helped people that were turned away by everybody else, and you were able to find success for them. So those are the kind of the cases that stick with me the most, and that we were able to change somebody's lives that everybody else had said, listen, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, that's